You know that little bookstore you love? Or that neighborhood cafe that just gets it? Ever wonder how they manage to stay afloat, let alone thrive, in a world that's dominated by retail giants and endless online stores? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain and dive into the secret playbook of these small, independent shops to figure out how they don't just survive, but actually win. I mean, it's a classic David versus Goliath story, right? These small shops are going up against massive corporations with what seems like infinite resources. So, what's their secret weapon? What's the slingshot in this story? That's the exact question we're going to tackle.
And look, the challenge they're up against is huge. On one side, you've got the small shops dealing with tight budgets, logistical headaches, and just plain higher costs. And on the other side, they're facing the brutal 24/7 competition from e-commerce and the sheer scale of the big box stores. Some people have even called it a retail apocalypse. But right there, in the middle of all those challenges, lies their greatest strength. It's a strategy that isn't built on scale, but on connection. And it has a name: customer orientation. So what exactly is that? Well, to put it simply, it's being completely obsessed with your customer. It's about deeply, truly understanding their needs, not just what they want today, but what they might want tomorrow. And then building your entire business around creating something genuinely valuable just for them. And this is not just some business school buzzword. This is a real quote from the owner of a small jewelry shop. It's a philosophy they actually live and breathe every single day. The idea that the store is being built with the customer, not just for them. That right there is the magic ingredient. Now, the simple version of this story is that if you listen to your customers, you'll get ideas to innovate. But recent research shows that's only scratching the surface. There's something much, much more powerful going on here. You know, the conventional wisdom is a pretty straight line. You listen, then you innovate. You hear customers are asking for more vegan options, so, okay, you add a few vegan pastries to the menu. Simple enough, right?
But here's the twist. What if that innovation, that new pastry, didn't just solve a problem? What if it actually made the relationship with those customers even stronger, which then sparked even more ideas? And that is the core insight. It's not a one-way street at all. It's actually a self-reinforcing loop, a virtuous cycle where listening and innovating are constantly feeding each other, getting stronger and stronger over time. I absolutely love this way of breaking it down. Think of it like this. Your deep connection with your customer is the spark that ignites a new idea. But then, and this is the cool part, the innovation itself becomes the fuel. It strengthens that customer relationship, making it even tighter, which in turn creates the perfect conditions for the next spark. It's this beautiful feedback loop. Okay, so how do these shops actually put this incredible loop into practice? Well, the research points to 4 key areas where they innovate. Let's open up the playbook. First up is what's called the retailing mix. Now, that sounds a little technical, but really it's just the shop's DNA. It's everything from the carefully chosen products on the shelves to the unique vibe of the store to the way they talk to customers. And you can see this in so many cool ways. Sometimes it's as simple as bringing in a new line of products that customers have been asking for. But it's also about clever little touches, like using a QR code to tell the story of the local artist who made a piece of jewelry, or maybe even more importantly, not changing and preserving that cozy traditional feeling that makes the shop so special in the first place. Okay, so once you've got the mix right, the next layer is all about deepening that human connection. It's about moving beyond just a simple transaction and actually building a real community. This is honestly where small shops have a superpower. They do things like host workshops or book clubs, turning the store into a real neighborhood hub. They bring customers into the creative process, making them feel like they're part of something special. It's all about creating this sense of belonging that you just can't get from clicking add to cart. All right, number 3, technology. Now you might be thinking, wait a minute, isn't technology the enemy of the small shop? Well, what's fascinating is how they're using it. Not to replace the human touch, but to actually make it stronger. The key here is that technology is always serving the relationship. Their social media feels personal, like it's run by a family. They create this cool blend of the physical and digital, sometimes called a phygital experience, where you can maybe browse online before you visit, so when you walk in, the staff already has a sense of what you're looking for. It's smart. And finally, the 4th kind of innovation is all about social sustainability. This is basically recognizing that your shop doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's a living part of a bigger ecosystem, the neighborhood. These shop owners are actively building up the life of their community. They create spaces that feel less like a store and more like a community living room. They'll sponsor local events, they'll team up with other nearby businesses. They become these neighborhood anchors that help keep the area's unique character alive. So when you start to put all these different pieces together, you can really begin to see the full strategy emerge. It's not just about doing one of these things. It's about a powerful, interconnected system. And this model from the research lays it all out perfectly. On one side, you have sensing and seizing. That's the listening part, the spark. That spark then ignites the 4 types of innovation we just talked about. And then those innovations transform the business, which, you guessed it, strengthens the customer connection and starts the whole amazing cycle all over again. And what's awesome is that this isn't just theory. This slide basically turns it all into super practical, actionable advice. Want to innovate in your relationships? Host a workshop. Want to innovate with tech? Merge your physical and digital worlds. It's a clear roadmap for how to put this powerful loop into action in the real world. Which really leaves us with one big question to think about. In a world that is moving faster and faster towards AI and automation, maybe, just maybe, the real secret weapon of these small shops is the one thing that can never truly be scaled or coded or replicated: a genuine, evolving human connection.